Now, before I start off with this video, this topic has been made many times, especially by 1M himself, right? So I'm only just gonna clarify it into my own perspective and just tell you why you need to think long term. Think in a decade and not think in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. You need to give yourself a longer time frame when it comes to business, when it comes to personal relationships, when it comes to building that body, becoming the best you. You need to give yourself a longer time frame. And this especially applies to business, especially in the world of money, and especially in the age of social media. We've all been victim to the get rich quick schemes of buying courses, following someone's advice when they got rich young, thinking you can do the same, when in reality they're selling a course. And don't get me wrong, some courses out there are really good that will help you a lot, but the course alone will not help you get rich. What they're getting rich of is the course itself. They're selling the knowledge, and that's what a lot of them aren't telling you. And this is especially true for the Gen Z generation, or my generation. We've all been famoosed, right? We've all been famoosed into getting rich quick, and that we have to get rich quick now. We've only got a couple months left before the window closes of getting rich. But the reality is that you need to give yourself a decade, a longer time frame, just like everyone else, years beforehand, especially if you're a normal person. If you're not a pro footballer, if you're not a professional athlete, then chances are you need to give yourself a longer time frame when it comes to business and building a strong foundation so you can get rich. If you want to build something sustainable with a strong foundation and that will last through decades and decades and decades, then that's going to take time. It will take years and years and years to build something of that, specifically a business. Now, when it comes to these courses, you need to adopt the thinking of a long-term mindset, a long-term thinking, because if you build a business that is basically a get rich quick, or a business that will help you get rich quickly within a couple months or a year, such as selling a course, then you're off to a shaky foundation, and there's no guarantee that that business will last through years and years and years. And no shade to all the course guys out there. Like I said before, you know, some of these courses are really good. But a lot of people who are starting an online business are entering the world of selling a course. The only problem with that is that the foundations are very shaky and it can crumble at any point. And you become another one of those course gurus who try to help you get rich off a certain method, when in reality they got rich off selling the course. And that's like, I would say 80% of course gurus out there. Now, the problem with that type of business is that it's hard to scale past a certain point, right? Especially when you're selling information. Yes, you may get to 20, 30, 40K, but how are you going to scale past that? You know, there's only so many videos you can produce online to market yourself. There's only so many people you can get results for, which you can use as social proof. But there comes to a point where you just hit a brick wall and you can't scale past that, right? And so how are you going to increase or scale that business? That's the question a lot of people don't ask themselves. And so they cap at 30 or 20 to 30K a month, and they can't grow anymore. Whereas if you adopt a long-term thinking, a long mindset, then it means that you can reach past those 500K a month, million a month, and you can predict the future way long-term because you're building up a plan. You're giving yourself a longer time frame. And this applies to all the other online methods such as copywriting, sales, online sales, which I've done before. Like I was whacking 6 to 7 calls a day, every day. Okay, I was doing like 12 to 13 hour shifts, online sales. And yes, you do make money. I made money, but when you break it down, you're working way too long, and it's hard to scale past 20, or like say 5 to 10K a month, especially if you're selling a shitty course, which to be fair, I was selling a shitty course. It was such a hard sell, and I got sales, but it was a hard sell. And so when you're on the calls for 12 to 13 hours a day, it doesn't make any sense, and it's hard to scale and build your own thing around that. Same with copywriting. There's only so many clients you can take on before you hit a brick wall to 10 to 20K a month. And how are you going to scale past that? Oh, you need to sell a course, right? And so the only way to scale past doing something yourself is by selling a course, and the only way to scale past a course is, well, you can't really. It's hard to scale past. So what happens is with my generation is that people are so in tune to getting rich so quickly. Within a couple months, they build a shitty foundation. They don't develop the skills needed. They don't think about a business model that is aligned with them, which they want to do. But instead, they're just following a business model that all the other gurus are telling them to follow so they can sell you their course. You build a shitty foundation for a business, and at any point it can collapse. This just applies to business. So in business, I always tell people adopt a long-term mindset, give yourself a longer time frame, choose a business model that's aligned with you and all that stuff. Because if you shorten the time frame, you make crappy decisions, poor decision making, and it can cause you problems even further down the road, which you can't recover from. Now, the same goes for self-improvement. If you give yourself too short of a time frame to improve that body, improve the mindset, or to like get that certain person or partner, and you don't get it, then it's going to fuck you up mentally, right? And you see this all the time, especially with social media, all these teenagers taking steroids because they want to get a body at a quicker time frame, because they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to give themselves a longer time frame and go through the hardship. Instead, they want to have that body now. Everything is now, so they can show off on social media to show off what they have, right? However, to build your dream person, to have the dream body, the dream girl, the dream business, to learn a certain language, it takes time. It takes a very long time. You need to give yourself a long time frame, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, right? Instead of trying to imagine who you're going to be in your 20s, think about the person you're going to be in your 30s, because as a man, that's your peak years. I truly think your 30s are your peak years. So if you're 20 years old, think about what you need to build in your 20s so that in your 30s, you are the fucking man, because you will be the man in your 30s. Give yourself a long time frame. That long time frame will build a strong foundation. And especially on social media, people push a time frame so small that it causes anxiety amongst a lot of us, right? We're shoving this idea of success down everyone's throats. And, you know, to try and be successful is good. It's a good thing to take care of your family, to live that dream life. But because we're showing it off at a very short time frame, it's causing a lot of depression, anxiety amongst a lot of, you know, kids nowadays, especially teenagers, because they're not having that dream life that a lot of people are portraying on social media. But in reality, the people that are portraying it on social media are 0.01%, right? It's such a tiny amount of people. And a lot of them are fake gurus, you know, they have the fake Lamborghini to show off on social media. So it's perceived as they're living the dream life. So if you put it into perspective, let's just think about this, right? If you want to build your dream body, like a good physique, a solid like cuts and everything, you're lean, you're around about 10 to 12% body fat, and you look like you've been lifting for years, that's going to take 4 years to build a dream body without steroids, okay? That's the reality of building your dream body. If you want to learn a language, right? And if you're an average person, you're not in the military you're in the army trying to learn a language within 6 months. If you're just an average Joe trying to learn a language, it's going to take 2 to 3 to 4 years, right? If you want to build a business, a solid business of a strong foundation, that is going to take around about 3 to 4 years before you start seeing proper sales coming in. And that's true for majority of businesses. Same with building your personal brand. The reality of building a personal brand is that it's going to take a very long time for you to make videos and then instantly pop off. And that usually happens around 2 to 4 years, maybe 3 to 4 years. Look at Andrew Tate. He's been posting since, I think he was around 25, 26. And he's only popped off when he was around about like 32, 33. He was making vlogs. He was on Big Brother. He was on reality TV shows. Nothing popped off. But he's been doing it for years and years and years. And then suddenly everything kicks in. The snowball effect kicks in, right? It takes such a long time. It takes persistence, consistency, tenacity of doing the same shit every week, every day for years and years before you see any good results, right? That's the reality. So giving yourself a longer time frame most certainly applies to self-improvement. Stop trying to be the dream person within that year. Give yourself a longer time frame. The time will come. I promise you, for you to become the dream you, it will happen. Just give it time. Think long term. Think in decades, not months. Now, another thing where this applies, thinking long term, thinking in decades and not months, or not thinking by day or week by week, is it applies to going out and having fun. I work in a bar. I work in London. I work in a bar. I work on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights. I see people spending 100, 200, 300 pounds every week on drugs and on drinks, okay? Like in the toilets, we see empty baggies all the fucking time. These are 9 to 5 people who have regular jobs who are earning no more than 30 to 50,000 within that bracket, which is not much money at all in the grand scheme of things, right? And bear in mind, rent is fucking expensive in London. And they're wasting it, pissing it down on alcohol, on drugs, having fun, living on Friday nights, Saturday nights. Now, imagine you spend And I've calculated this. A lot of them spend around about £500 to £1,000 a month. Now imagine this, you take that amount of money and you save it for your business. You think long term. You keep reinvesting that money, and say by the time you're 28, by the time you're 30, you have a dream business. You can travel around the world wherever the fuck you want. And then you can start having alcohol, start doing drugs if you want to, right? But you have no consequence of becoming broke because of it, because you built up a strong foundation because you thought long term. Now in the UK, the drinking culture is really bad, and people spend hundreds on alcohol a week. These are regular people with regular jobs, right? It's ridiculous. I work in a bar, I see everything. I know the nightlife inside and out. And if you keep reinvesting that stuff, like, I'm not saying don't go and don't have fun, right? I like to enjoy myself. I like to go on nights out as well. But the difference is I don't drink and I don't spend money on drugs and I don't piss it down the toilet. Yes, I waste my time going out and having fun because I'm young. It's good to have fun. But don't be spending hundreds and hundreds on drinks, buying a girl a drink, and then you don't even shag her in the end. It's like, bro, why are you trying to show off? But what happens is a lot of people get FOMO in their youth, because I think when you're youthful, it's when you're most beautiful. It's when you, in their heads, it's when they have the most opportunity to get laid, right? They don't have the mindset that, oh, in the 30s, they're going to get more girls and all that stuff. They're thinking too short term. They get FOMO, the fear of missing out, and then thinking that they're going to waste their youth and their prime away. Reality is, if you think long term and you do the work, you hit the gym, you take care of yourself, you take care of your body, your mindset, your business, everything will work out in the end. It will. I'm sure of it. I have no proof of it, but it's the mindset of it will work out. You will have more options later down in your late 20s or your 30s. I truly believe that you can have the business you want, you can have the girl you want, you can have the body you want, you can have the lifestyle you want if you give yourself a longer time frame. If you think in a decade and not in months. I truly believe anyone can have that life. Think long term, not short term. I'll see you guys later. Peace.